December 1st, BCE. The city of Pharsalos is and always has been a thriving agricultural utopia in ancient Greece. Its people, after enjoying nearly another full millennium of prosperity and divine blessing, are gathering in the king's palace for the banquet of Ananiose, the banquet of renewal, hosted upon the arrival of every new millennium. King Tern, the ruler of Pharsalos, expresses his appreciation and devotion to his subjects, gifting them with royal ornaments, garbs, and a banquet, the likes of which to be meant for the gods. Among the king's distinguished guests is a middle-aged farmer named Relophias. Relophias, aside from farming, also writes poetry. He recites his poems while working in the fields every spring as an act of prayer to Apollo, god of light, music, and poetry. And because his crops always yield a fruitful harvest, villagers have begun attributing his success to his poems. It's this belief that compels King Tern to bestow an important task upon Relophias. "Lend me your voice, Relophias," said the king. "Cast a thunderous echo of my eternal gratitude toward the heavens so the gods may continue to watch over my kingdom." Relophias eagerly accepted the request, much to King Tern's satisfaction. The king went on to tell him about a sacred temple dedicated to the gods, rumored to exist within Mount Marshall in northern Greece, and that he would have to journey there for 30 days and 30 nights. King Tern also explains that he must embark on this journey barefoot. Relophias, still willing to undertake this royal errand, headed back to his home to prepare for his quest. The next morning, Relophias departed from his wife and 3 children and began making his way to northern Greece. He left carrying nothing but a small book containing all of his poems. After 10 days of traveling, Relophias arrived at the edge of the Korg Desert. He stared in awe at the endless sands, and with every step he took, felt the dry sea sending waves of doubt crashing through his mind. Before he could even think to turn back, Relophias recalled the generous words of his king and the tremendous amount of faith that was placed on him. These thoughts triggered a determined expression on Relophias' face as he took his first steps onto the Korg sand. "How will I persevere?" Relophias whispered through his chapped lips. "It's been 6 days, and I have not yet found a lake to quench my thirst, nor fruit to quell my hunger." He continued to walk forward, his eyes now fixed to the earth under his feet. His warm body then slowly met the ground, and his consciousness fades. Relophias awakes in the middle of the night to the loud cries of an infant. He is shocked to discover a stone well in front of him, and even more perplexed to find an infant trapped in it. He quickly lowers himself in the well and fastens the infant to his chest with a sling created from his shirt. By anchoring his arms and legs against the interior of the well, he pulls himself and the infant out to safety. He notices the infant is still crying, so Relophias recites a poem in an attempt to calm the baby down.
"Cry unto thee, not but a joyful sound. Brought us not this heavenly smile? Forward unto thy grace and beauty. Sing to me another song or joyful noise. But do not leave me on a cliffhanger, for I do have patience and control. I seek you, to me, also a mentor. I am fulfilled now. I am joyful because of you."
As the infant's eyes begin to close, a bright light enveloped the child, momentarily blinding Relophias. The ground below shook violently. Then when the area fell calm, Relophias opened his eyes. The world around him had completely altered. He was no longer stranded in the middle of an endless desert. Instead, forest was all that surrounded him, and the infant was nowhere in sight. Relophias navigated the thick forest for 5 days until he finally stumbled upon a cave. He quickly took refuge in the temporary shelter because a storm was coming. He caught the scent of rain on the wind and knew he had to act fast. As Relophias approached the cave, the storm swooped in and relentlessly showered the land. Relophias endured for 7 days and was beginning to grow weary. While sitting in the cave, Relophias notices a robin with an injured wing laying on the ground. Though the robin was expressionless, the farmer felt a slight sense of hopelessness emanating from the bird's essence. He whistled continuously, hoping to coax the robin into singing back to him, but was unsuccessful. In a last-ditch effort, Relophius picked up the robin and recited a poem to it.
I hear you echoing my name in the distance, but I apologize, for I refuse to go with you. The abundance and the troubles and the obstacles, it really does make for a great debate. I cannot foresee the future, for only the divine knows how far we are from the end. This, not even a fantasy can pretend. Legendary. And it's very hard to comprehend. This is where I shall stand. Now, I have become a stronger and better man. Journeys, quests, missions. Furthermore, I welcome happily. Death is no more.
The poem uplifted the injured robin, and it began singing cheerfully. Then within seconds, the bird was enveloped in a blinding bright light, just as the infant. Relophius opens his eyes to find himself standing just outside of a sacred temple. He slowly approaches the tall standing doors sealing the entry to the temple. He pushes them open and cautiously enters. He trails down a long torch-lit hallway. The more he walks, the more he begins to hear familiar sounds from his journey. At long last, he arrives at the shrine of the gods. He sees the infant from Korg, the robin from the cave, and lastly, King Tern from Pharsalos. All three merge into one, and Apollo's true form is revealed. Apollo expresses his delight with Relophius. I'm pleased that you've come all this way, said Apollo, for I knew that you were worthy and would not falter under any circumstance. Apollo then commands Relophius to share one last poem as an offering to him.
The air is like a butterfly with pale blue wings. The happy robin bird looks at the sky and sings. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches me.
Apollo, pleased with Relophius' final offering, grants him and his people another millennium of good fortune and an unwithering sun. Apollo also grants Relophius the title of king and mantle of Pharsalos, then vanishes in a flash of bright light.